What up, what up, what up? This is DJ Mark, DJ Corner. Today's guest, I don't know how to label them, but these two men are extraordinary in the hip hop game. Lyrical. They come from Brooklyn. Their debut album reached 30 years this year. 30 years. A classic. The Shining. They came out, Rude Awakening. Smif and Wessun Reloaded reached 20 years this year. Amazing. Smif and Wessun, the album, Monumental with Pete Rock, The All, and this year, critically acclaimed, could be album of the year in my opinion, The Infinity. So if you don't know who I got today, today's guest, Smif and Wessun, Cocoa Brothers, Tech and Steele. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening? That was excellent.
Salute.
That was excellent. Thank you. Peace to the people. Peace and power to the people, man.
Absolutely. And I'm glad y'all here. You know, one of my favorite all-time groups of all time.
Appreciate
you
it.
know,
Thank you. Gratitude.
You know, and let's jump right into it. What inspired the name Smif and Wessun?
It was necessary. I think before I do that, answer that question, you left out born and raised.
Oh, born and raised.
You got to count that. Like we count all monuments, man. All bases, man. Every shots. Like my and that's like all the studio recordings of Tech and Steele, Cocoa Brothers, Smoking Guns, that catalog. But anyway, to answer your question, Smif and Wessun, the name, it was just a dope name. You know what I mean? It's like I was at a point where I was like running around doing solo rap thing, right? And Tech was like enforcer, the enemy killer. It just had we was just like playing with the idea, like it'd be dope to use that name, you know? So we just started playing around with it. I think that it was just organic, you know what I mean? Like, you know, at the time with hip hop just it's inspiring. It was like I didn't want to be a solo artist. I wanted a partner. You know what I mean? Like and it's like, what we're gonna do? Let's come up with something that's catchy. And yeah, it was right there for us, man. Like it grabbed us. Smif and Wessun, he's like, I don't rap yet. Yes, you do. You do now.
You grabbed your brother and said,
yeah, we about to do this. You ready? Yes, let's go.
Smif and Wessun's name,
but it's us. Yeah, it's just fit. You know.
Okay. What was it like growing up in Brooklyn in the 90s?
Dangerous.
Wow, East.
Dangerous.
I mean, it was beautiful, man, too, because it's like a moth to the flame. It was the allure of everything that was happening that you was involved with, shaping you in that time. Because that was still, we were fresh high school.
Yeah, dangerously fun.
Yeah, so it was a lot to take in and build the character of the person that we are today. I tell you what, it wasn't no cell phone action back then. It wasn't no videotapes being recorded. So everything was live and direct, man. It was hands on with it. It was a beautiful time, dope.
We survived, born in the 70s, right? Survived the 80s, which is primarily the crack era.
Reagan era.
So we witnessed the crack era, right? And then we watched the crack babies grow up. Like right now, like we watching the whole explosion of 20 and 30-year-olds that's like reflect. We watched that. We lived through that. So we hear our songs. Some of that reflects that whole grind. But Brooklyn is our base, being our base, and now like seeing it being gentrified is interesting to see. You know, it's 360 kind of sort of, because there used to be a place where it was primarily Jews, right?
Absolutely.
And then even the Purple Gang, the original Purple Gang is from like East New York. You know, like so you think about the tide of the changing of the time and all of that. It's a wild spiral.
It was a place where a lot of people didn't even want to be at. Now everyone is tripping over themselves trying to get out here in Brooklyn now.
It was very dangerous. See, I grew up in Bensonhurst.
Okay.
So
even more dangerous.
More dangerous.
Wow. Yeah. See, but you almost got the complexion for the protection, so they really didn't know what was going on.
I got away with it.
Right, yeah.
But that's dope. How do you feel your sound evolved since The Shining?
Open-minded. Like, we've always been coachable, like, and we've always been like focused. Like, we never strayed away from the origin of who we are. Like, when we work with Ninth Wonder, he always say, like, we gonna keep to who you are, stay true to who you are, but we just want to upgrade the sound, right? So we always had a problem with being like this underground, like coined underground, like why play our joints in the club? We want to rock to the joints too. So we want to have this sonic thing going on, but we also want to stay true to the core of who we are. So it's just like paying attention to what the fans like, being able to read the room, listening to your brothers and your sisters' input sometimes. If your girl like it, if your kid like it, you know, if your homie bumping it in the car or something like that. You watch all of these things, you know what I mean? And we test the waters, and I think we've been lucky.
I think we was able to fine tune our sound also.
Yeah.
Like going before where you didn't even know how to make records or what type of records you needed. I think we've learned that over the years. And like you said, being coachable, having dope producers like the Beat Miners, a Ninth Wonder, Pete Rock, who's not afraid to give you input and be like, yo, I think we should take it here, or I know it's in you, do this type of flow, and being able to come out and articulate that over what they provide is I think we was able to fine tune it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think like your music will make it in the clubs when at a time like in 2025?
Yeah.
So like Bucktown, it could still be played in the club. Soundboy Berry still being played in the club.
Yeah.
Depends on where you at.
That's real.
Especially like Japan. You can play any Smif and Wessun song, they're gonna rock to it.
Mashallah, that's beautiful. That's nice because I mean, it's not like we didn't have club success when Smif and Wessun when we first came out, because we was performing at the Tunnel, we was up in Limelights, and we was running through those Envy and Cheetah crowds, and they would throw on a Soundboy at Bucktown. Even as the years started to catch up on it, it was still hot in here when Nelly was dropping a hot in here. A Soundboy could come on and it still keep the crowd on the floor, to still keep the excitement in the crowd up. So it's not like we didn't have that placement already. So I think just being able to come with different conversational pieces throughout the music, it's spreading our horizon across the boards a little bit.
Okay. Which project are you most proud of and why? I know you're proud of all of them, but if you had to pick one.
I don't know. That's a hard question, really. I would have to say, I would definitely say The Shining, because that's the birth of Smif and Wessun. That's where it all started at. But then I would have to say Infinity, because it's like 30 years and it's a whole full circle. Mm. And it's almost like an extension. It is an extension of The Shining. And to be able to still be here to do it on a level that we're doing it at is a blessing all in itself. So I would have to go from A to B, Alpha Omega, Zig Zag.
Yeah, that's like
Shining and
that's
Infinity.
Like the politically correct answer, because like, yeah, your first and your current one, right? Like if I took the first one off the table, it still would be difficult, because all of the projects have something so special there. You know, like the second one is when we first started really doing the Rude Awakenings, when we started doing features with cats. And we got some really dope guys on that album. And then the album, we recorded that in Sundsvall in Sweden. Like the whole entire album was like overseas. You know, that experience was wow. And then the Born and Raised, we really recorded that on some throwback yardie in the crib with the mattress.
Under the mattress.
With the little microphone recorder. And it's like when you listen back to these things, it's like, wow, that's us, bro. That's us really rocking like
and
that.
rest in peace, Zeke-Way. You know, he was over
man.
there
Struggies.
In the record shop with
strugglers.
Yeah, with Junior Reed up there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I would agree, man. Like, it's great to see how people respond to Infinity. You know, like, it's all right. We know, all right. We came out in '95 with The Shining. Y'all love it. It's like it's a golden era, all that woo. But can we, as the artists, stand the test of time? Because we are creators, like in spirit. So we always want to be able to give you something that can be useful, put into your cachet of music and entertainment. So to see how people respond to it, it's like, this is a win.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. What was the energy like in the studio creating with Soul Council and Knife Wonder?
What day?
I mean, well, it's shit. We spun the block with them because they produced the All album.
Yeah.
So, and then before that, we had the Triple Threat campaign with the Buckshot, Sean Price, and the Cocoa Brothers album that we had. What was that? That was the Triple Threat campaign, Reloaded, right? So we was already. The bond was there. The familiarity of each other was already there. So it was just this time around. It really felt like, for me, it felt like being in D&D again. It felt like being back in the nostalgia and the setup of that studio where, like I say, that was the place where Stars was born. And in there, you seen some of everybody come through. And down there is the same way. You see everybody pull up, from Rhapsody to everybody that's on the Jamla label that come through, whether they cooking with E. Jones or whether the young homie Ruben Vincent just coming to shoot a video to drop off some jackets or anything, to Sadadex, to Rod Digger popping up on his birthday. So it's home away from home, but you're there to create.
Yeah, the only thing, like, it's like being in the crib, couches, TV, all of that. It's the only thing different with the D&D. It ain't like niggas coming off the street. It's like family that's coming in the crib. Auntie, uncle, little cuz, nephew, little niece, and them coming playing with toys on the floor. Like, it's really like a home vibe. And the only kitchen is when we get in the studio, when the mics is hot and we in there, and it's very intimate. And it's not like a bunch of cheerleading squad. It ain't your traditional studio with the big, like, we just locking in. So it's very organic and it's a free vibe. And then, you want to go outside and you don't hear, like, New York City sometimes can be distracting.
Right.
And like, you hear that, I call that open air policy. It's like the trees and the birds and the train going by. So you can still hear traffic, but it's a little bit, it gives you something, it gives you space to breathe. When you go out there, you smoke your little whatever, or drink or whatever. So the energy is very healing, actually, and it gives you like a comfort. It's like that southern comfort space to really just do you.
Okay. How do you feel about the legacy of 90s hip hop in today's culture?
How do I feel about the legacy of 90s hip hop in today's culture? I love it, man. I first I see, like, a lot of artists that I grew up listening to, and a lot of our peers putting out music, practicing more healthy diets and preaching about mental wellness. And I think that's awesome. We coming from a place where our greatest song dealing with mental health was like The Message, broken glass everywhere, right? And it's like we can identify with that because we've all seen that. Not the kids now, they probably haven't seen that really. You know what I mean? But it's like we seen that, and then we've seen the rocks and rubble and crack vials under our feet. So the growth for us, I mean, to see, we've lost a lot of people, one, but to see cats still putting out really good music just because they love it. In the midst of all of the other stuff, people preaching the opulence and preaching that you got to have money and old head this, get out the game. They trying to shit on the leaders. I think it's dope. I think it's a great platform. We can we got a lot of building to do still. You know what I mean?
You mentioned something about mental wellness and mental illness,
Health
health and everything. Do you feel that's what's missing now in hip hop? More artists talking about that.
I think that their artists always been talking about it. I think that it's overshadowed by other things, and I think when you tap in, you start to hear it more because you can see how the long laundry list of artists that died off of just like overdosing and depression, like these things are attached to the big part of our lifestyle that we live, and it's good to see some artists start to speak on it. I see a lot of artists now, like cats like Billy Dance, and myself, like just talking about being sober. Like we grew up off of 40 ounces. You know what I mean? That was our culture, getting a 40 and standing on the corner and talking and congregating. Now we're talking about, how to live a little bit longer. We going to the juice bar. We do natural juices. You hear guys like somebody that's so hardcore, like the Ghost, talking about healthy living, and it's just awesome. And that's just one aspect as far as those type of artists, because it's a lot. Like I said, we got a lot of building to do, but I think that's very important.
But like you said, I think it's been there. I think we just didn't have a name to call it that because no one was even thinking of mental health at that time. But I think the struggle and the pain and PTSD that's been with a lot of artists and artists before us and artists that's now, I think it's always been there and wanting to be healthy and talking about it. Just now that we have something to really call it or put a finger on it and label it that, I think it's being heard more. It's opening up more doors now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does loyalty mean to y'all, especially in this industry?
Everything. Without no loyalty, there's nothing. There's nothing. I mean, you can do business, but that's business. Business doesn't always come with loyalty. And if you don't have loyalty, how can you build a friendship? How can you build a relationship? And as a man, you're supposed to have loyalty, principles, and morals to anyone that you're dealing with, to stand 10 toes and deal with business accordingly. So without loyalty, there is really nothing. That's my opinion.
Feel that.
Yeah, that's the thing with loyalty, because you have people and perspectives, so sometimes you can be loyal to a fault, and then that's when it's tainted. So like whatever your motives are for loyalty, like loyalty to what is it? If it's loyalty to a thing, or is it loyalty to we're loyal to us. Like each one of us is together we're bigger than the individual. You know what I mean? My emotions don't come into play when it's time to deal with things that concern us or like our mission. We're never bigger than the program, so to speak. And it's like I can put my meanness into it, and I can allow myself to be the leader as well. So we have an understanding in that regard. So I think that can breed loyalty. That's something to be loyal to, as opposed to saying I'm loyal to him, this person. And you see people out in the street that they use that word so loosely, and then it becomes like this thing that nobody really values, But then when you know it, you feel it. It's like love. It's like people have all these different layers when it's only just really one thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
So I love the album.
Give thanks.
Give thanks, bro.
Love it. But there's songs on there I love the most off the album.
For example,
Moses Promise.
That's crazy. I've been thinking about Moses Promise all day for some reason. It's just been in my head. I don't know.
Black Eminence, Prodigy.
Rest up, sleep well.
Enjoy Your Life. Shine.
Nice.
Heard About Me.
There you go.
Sean Price. And I had two honorable mentions.
That's all.
I had three. I had actually 3 honorable mentions, but Just Stay is one of my honorable mentions.
With the homie Conway machine.
With Conway. Medina with Faramonch, and The Elephant in the Room. Even though I do love the whole project, but I put those majority on repeat.
Nah, I felt that. I felt those first ones. I was there. I think that list. Yeah. I think, I know I'm proud of those songs. It's interesting how we came up with those titles, because some of those titles we didn't come with until like the song was done. It's like, what is this? What is this conversation about? You know, what are we trying to present? Like Elephant in the Room was easy because that beat came on and it just sounded like it was like, yo, it's just a bonfire right here. You listen to what a track tell you, and then it's like those tracks like Black Eminence where you go, yo, we got to make sure whatever we say on here is substantial without being like, yo, do this, the old head, you got to follow the rules and fuck all that. Nobody want to hear that, you know what I mean?
Because I was like, and Prodigy on it too. I was like,
yeah,
it's an amazing track.
Absolutely. It's important to let you guys know, like, don't believe all that. Artists really rock with each other. A lot of artists, and it's not like some We Are the World flex. It's like we rock with each other. We might not see it on the screen and on the videos, but we felt it was important to show the relationship. Like Tech and Prodigy have a how do you say, like a mutual
bond with sickle cell.
There you go.
He passed from sickle cell. Well, he had sickle cell, and my wife's daughter, Bestie, that you see me post up every 22nd out of my Bestie Day, she also passed from sickle cell.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Appreciate it. So we would build about just that disease and lead into other things before we even spoke about music, just getting up and just kicking and hanging out. And she was about to she was in need of a hip transplant, and he was trying to, kind of breaking down, she eat this, eat more greens, or drink this, or doing just certain ways. He was, because I, of course, didn't have the trait, and I never knew nothing about it until, besides what we heard from him, and I got with my lady. So then it's like, okay, so now it's home now. So now once you learn about it, it affects you more than. Now you have a duty to know more about it once you know something about it. So, that was just the way we built about it and coming into it. And plus we was on the road with these guys with Mobb Deep, big up Havoc. We did the tour with them. So I think when we first was even crazy about that. The engineer is the one who produced that track, big up Muwa. And I think that was like his first beat on record. We might have busted his cherry, let him even get the production on the album, and he got a icon on the track.
Yeah, I think he might have cried.
He
like, I don't believe this, but that's what we do with hip hop. We don't let our heroes die. We don't toss them to the side.
Right.
We exalt them. We hold them high, and this is what they gave to us. So it's a blessing to see, like, when he talks, whatever happened to the real, but we not done. In fact, we just begun. And by the way, salute to his daughter who was making beats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Got some
Samantha
tracks
Fox.
Got some tracks on Bernadette's album. So it's like, just keeping. That's what we talk about.
Santana
Fox.
Okay.
We talk about Black Eminence. We talk about generational wealth, and just keeping it in your head that you are from royalty. Always try to strive for your best. Excellence. You're excellent. Like, it ain't just a dress code. It's a matter of the person, the being.
And it's almost like passing the torch. Like you got to know how to hand the baton off. You may not be the one that's going to finish the race, but as long as you getting it in play and you setting it up, you'll be good. I think hip hop will be good for another 50 years plus moving forward.
That's the seed that has been planted. A lot of people know Prodigy for like this dope artist. A lot of people know Sean Price for this dope artist. But like, if you hear Sean Price in the interview, he'll say, yo, I'm an artist over here. When I come over here, I'm Dad, I'm husband, I'm bro, is you have responsibilities here. So it's like, all right, behind the curtain, we build. So what happens if we could take these constructs to the music? Like, this is what music gave us. This is what a lot of the hip hop gave us in the beginning. And we was able to dance to it. You know, we still dance to some, we still dance to Rakim. We still dance to some of the songs that had lessons in it. And, you know, was groovy samples and things of that nature. So it's like, all right, how do we stay true to that and still be able to party with our youngins? You know what I mean? I think we hitting that mark.
Absolutely.
So that's Black Eminence, man.
But fellas, I really appreciate y'all stopping through for real.
Yeah.
The DJ Corner and
Boom, boom, boom.
and like I said, appreciate the music y'all.
Be like water, my friend.
Thank you.
Fluid.
If you ain't
fluid.
got
Thank
it,
you for
go
having
get that Infinity.
Yes, go get that Infinity
Run
on
the numbers
vinyl,
up.
CD, cassette, download,
Tape,
iTunes,
Tape,
anything.
yeah, stream,
Cassette.
everything.
Get your gas set.
So this is the DJ Corner, Smif and Wessun, Tech and Steele, Cocoa Brothers. Y'all know them by a lot of names, but at home, like they said, they dads and brothers, husbands.
Yes.
Salud.
All right, sign off. Peace.
Culture pushers, baby.